On the far edge of the Orion frontier, where human colonies were scattered across cold and forgotten worlds, there was a planet named Arinder. It wasn't a famous planet. It wasn't rich with resources or beautiful landscapes. Most of it was covered in endless forests of dark violet trees and silent gray mountains that cut across the horizon like broken teeth. Only one small human settlement existed there, a colony called Raven's Hollow. It was quiet, too quiet for most people. But that wasn't the strangest thing about Arinder. The strangest thing was the house. Just outside Raven's Hollow, at the edge of the forest, stood an old abandoned building. It was tall and narrow, built from ancient stone that looked far older than the human colony itself. No one knew who built it. No one knew how long it had been there. But every colonist knew the same rule. Stay away from that house, because something lived there. And sometimes, late at night, people claimed they saw her. A pale woman with glowing eyes, standing near the broken windows. Watching. Waiting. The colonists called her the alienvampire. Most believed it was just a story. But not everyone. Daniel Mercer had only been on Arinder for 3 weeks. He was a planetary surveyor, sent by the Interstellar Exploration Guild to study the planet's unusual energy fields. Daniel didn't care much about local legends. He cared about data. Still, on his first night in Raven's Hollow, the bartender had warned him. "You can explore the forest all you want," the old man said, "but stay away from the stone house." Daniel chuckled. "Haunted house story?" The bartender didn't laugh. "No," he said quietly. "Something lives there." Daniel shrugged. "Probably wildlife." The bartender leaned closer. "You ever seen wildlife that drinks blood?" Daniel rolled his eyes. Right. That was the moment the old man lost interest in talking to him. 3 weeks later, Daniel found himself walking through the forest at night. It wasn't planned. A magnetic storm had interfered with his equipment, and he'd been forced to track down a lost sensor beacon. His scanner beeped softly as he moved between the tall violet trees. Then he saw something through the fog. A silhouette. A building. Daniel stopped. The abandoned house. The one everyone warned him about. Even in the darkness, it looked strange. The architecture didn't match anything humans built. The stone was carved with unfamiliar symbols, worn down by centuries of weather. "This must be the place," Daniel muttered. His lost beacon was blinking inside. Of course it was. He hesitated for only a moment before stepping toward the house. The wooden door hung slightly open. Inside, the air smelled old. Dust floated through beams of faint moonlight that slipped through the broken windows. Daniel moved carefully, following the signal. His scanner pointed upstairs. "Of course it's upstairs," he sighed. The staircase creaked as he climbed. Halfway up, the signal stopped. Daniel frowned. Then he heard a voice. "Humans rarely come here." Daniel froze. The voice was soft. "Come." And very close. Slowly he turned. At the top of the stairs stood a woman, or something that looked like one. Her skin was pale with a faint silver shimmer beneath it. Her long dark hair fell like liquid shadow around her shoulders. Her eyes glowed softly in the darkness. Not human eyes. Alien eyes. Bright crimson. Daniel's heart began to race. "So," he said slowly, "you must be the neighbor everyone keeps talking about." The woman tilted her head. "You are not afraid?" Daniel shrugged. "Not yet." The woman stepped down one stair. Her movements were unnaturally graceful. "I warned you," she said quietly. "No human should come here." Daniel raised his hands slightly. "Look, I'm just here for a sensor beacon." Her glowing eyes studied him carefully. Then she asked something unexpected. "Why did you not run?" Daniel blinked. "Should I? You know what I am. An alien who lives in an old house?" She shook her head slowly. I am what your kind calls a vampire. Daniel stared. Then he laughed. Okay, that's new. The woman did not smile. My species feeds on biological energy. Energy. Blood. Daniel stopped laughing. Well, he said, that complicates things. She took another step down. The air around her felt strangely cold. You should leave. Daniel crossed his arms. You planning to stop me? She didn't answer. But suddenly she was standing directly in front of him. He hadn't seen her move. Okay, Daniel whispered. That's impressive. Her glowing eyes searched his face. You are not like the others. Others? Humans who came here before. Daniel's smile faded. What happened to them? Her silence was the answer. The house felt colder. You killed them, he asked quietly. I protected this place. From humans. From everyone. Daniel studied her carefully. You're guarding something. For the first time, her expression changed. Surprise. How did you know? Daniel tapped the wall. Alien ruins, strange architecture, energy signals across the forest, yeah. Something important is here. The woman stepped back slowly. My name is Naira. Daniel. Naira turned toward the dark hallway behind her. You should go now, Daniel. Before you get hungry? She didn't respond. Instead, she said something strange. If you stay, you will see things your species is not ready to understand. Daniel smiled slightly. Too late for that. He walked past her. Into the hallway. Naira did not stop him. The deeper Daniel moved into the house, the stranger things became. The walls were covered with glowing alien markings that pulsed faintly like living veins. Ancient technology hummed beneath the floor. This place isn't a house, Daniel whispered. Naira appeared beside him again. It is a vault. For what? She hesitated. Then she said the words carefully. For something that must never awaken. Daniel's curiosity ignited instantly. What kind of thing needs a vampire alien as a guard? Naira looked toward the floor beneath them. A god. Daniel laughed nervously. You're joking. She didn't laugh. Beneath the house, something moved. A deep vibration echoed through the stone walls. Daniel felt it in his bones. What was that? Naira's eyes burned brighter. It is stirring. The ground trembled again. Dust fell from the ceiling. Daniel stared at her. You said it must never awaken. Yes. Then why is it waking up? Naira's voice became colder. Because humans came to this planet. Daniel felt a chill run through his spine. Wait, you think we caused it? You disturbed the energy seals. Another tremor shook the house. This one stronger. From beneath the floor came a sound that did not belong in any world. A slow, ancient heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Daniel backed away. That's not good. Naira looked at him. If it wakes, your colony will die. And you. I will fail my purpose. The floor cracked slightly. A thin beam of blinding light burst from the basement door. Naira turned toward it. It has begun. Daniel's voice shook. So, what do we do? Naira looked at him again. For the first time since he met her, there was fear in her glowing eyes. We stop it. How? She hesitated. Then she said the one thing he did not expect. I cannot do it alone. Daniel blinked. You want my help? You awakened it. Fair. The ground shook again. The basement door exploded open. Light poured upward like a rising star. Something ancient was waking. Naira turned toward the stairs. If we fail, this planet will not survive the night. Daniel followed her into the light. The chamber beneath the house was enormous. A massive alien machine filled the underground cavern. At its center floated a sphere of pure energy, glowing brighter with each passing second. Inside the sphere was a shadow. Something enormous. Something alive. Naira's voice was barely a whisper. The Devourer. Daniel stared. You keep that thing under your house? It was sealed here thousands of years ago. The machine around it began to crack. Energy bolts shot across the chamber. The sphere pulsed violently. Daniel looked at Naira. So, what's the plan? She stepped toward the machine. We reseal it. And if that fails? Naira's crimson eyes met his. Then we run. The Devourer's shadow shifted inside the sphere. A massive claw pressed against the energy barrier. The sphere cracked. Daniel's voice dropped. We might want to hurry. Naira placed her hands on the alien controls. Her body began to glow with the same crimson light as her eyes. My species feeds on energy, she said quietly. But we can also give it. Daniel realized what she meant. You're powering the seal. Yes. And if it's not enough? Naira looked at him. Then it consumes me. Daniel stepped forward. Not alone. He grabbed the secondary control panel. Energy surged through the machine. The sphere brightened again. The Devourer roared from inside its prison. The cavern shook violently. Naira screamed as energy drained from her body. Daniel pushed the machine harder. Come on, he shouted. The cracks in the sphere slowly sealed. The Devourer slammed against the barrier one final time. Then, silence. The light dimmed. The machine powered down. The ancient prison held. Naira collapsed. Daniel caught her before she hit the floor. Her glowing eyes flickered weakly. You should have left, she whispered. Daniel smiled. Too late now. Above them, the abandoned house stood quietly once again, still guarding its secret. And the alien vampire who lived there was no longer alone.